hushinda pendo zote. Kaa nasi ndani yetu, furaha ya mbingu.
Blessings. We are just back in our study so that we may understand the times in which we are living in. For if we know the times in which we are living in, then we will know just what we are encountering. You know, when we are living in these times of apostasy, when everything around us is falling, everything around us is shaking, then we must understand what the Lord commanded. You see, this one calls us in the times of Jeremiah, in the times of Noah, in the times of Daniel. Okay, the pattern to which we are called to observe, these are the patterns. For instance, the patterns when apostasy reaches the climax. That is the criteria. For instance, look at Daniel. Daniel goes to captivity with these 3 Hebrew friends. He goes to captivity. Why? There was a change in the system. Not transgression, a change. Not sin or iniquity. All right? But a change. Leaving God for who? For Baal. Those are the changes that we are going to observe today, to see if the church, the body, Seventh-day Adventist, has left the one true God and has gone to a different God, defined by their own theory. So today the board here is about the church, the most blessed church upon the face of the earth, the Seventh-day Adventist church. The first of our discussion subject is fundamental principles. The second of our subject in discussion is fundamental beliefs. We are not going to take much time in this thing. We're going to analyze what Sister White saw to come upon the earth in the last days, in our days. I'm going to read from the book. I'm doing a rewind. If you were not present during the Sabbath, this is the most pleasant moment that you should embrace. We're going to go step by step. Place your questions on the comment section, and we're going to answer. 2:6 paragraph 4. 1 SM 206 paragraph 4. Now, Seventh-Adventist Foundation. We are going to read the confession of Sister White on how they laid the foundation. Okay, they laid the foundation so that we, the children, those who are going to be part and parcel of the church, may embrace to the close of probation, to the Sunday law, to the second coming of Christ event. There is no new life. Have been swayed from these things. They are crying, there is no new light. Now let's see if there is new light amongst them, those who are under the churches that claim to be the Seventh Adventist under the leadership General Conference. So we call them GCSDA, but having a different banner, a banner of Satan. So I'm going to read from Selected Messages, Book 1, 1SM. 1SM, this is called 1SM. Sister White is one of the prolific Seventh Adventist prophet who wrote for the last days. There's no any other prophet in Seventh Adventist. She begins in page 206, paragraph 1, saying, many of our people do not realize how firmly the foundation of our faith has been laid. My husband, that is James White. 1, Elder Joseph Bates. 2, number 3, Father Pierce. Older brethren among the pioneers are here thus reminiscently referred to Father Pierce. So Pierce came through the disappointment. They were with the Millerites. Some of us are saying, oh, the Millerites are not pioneers. We are seeing that the fundamental principle is laid by one of them. So he's saying, Father Pierce was Stephen Pierce, that was his name, full name, who served in ministerial and administrative work in the early days. Father Andrews was Edward Andrews, the father of John N. Andrews, compilers. So, Elder number 4, Elder Hiram Edson. Elder Hiram Edson, you see, Hiram Edson and others who were keen, noble, and true were among those who, after the passing of the time in 1844, who, after the passing of the time in 1844, searched for the truth as for hidden treasures. So, these men, they were amongst the Millerite, okay? So some of them were amongst the Millerite, and some of them were the new member whom the Millerite had called into the movement. For there cannot be the third angel message without the first and the second. The first, second, and the third angel messages. The third angel message, when there is a third angel message, we cannot have the third angel message without the first, the second messages. Because William Miller born the first angel message. We'll do our history and bring forth this fact, and it will be understood that those who gave the first angel message, second and third angel message are one, no separator, no distinction. If you say pioneers, we mean those who had the first angel message, or the second angel message, or the third angel message, because you cannot be a pioneer without the first. If you are pioneers without the first angel message, then it means you are not a pioneer. You are a false masquerading leader as a leader. So you are a false shepherd. So as we continue, we want to see Elder Edson amongst them, Hiram Edson that is, and others who were keen, noble, and true were among those who after the passing of the time in 1844 searched for the truth as for hidden treasure. I met with them, and we studied and prayed earnestly. Often we remained together until late at night. They were establishing the truth they were compiling all the truth that they had believed together and understanding the events that had just occurred, all the events. Often we remain together until late at night, and sometimes through the entire night. Remember, it is 1844 is the year of the passing of time. Passing. That is a common phrase for the disappointment, the great disappointment. There is a disappointment of summer, but now this is a disappointment of autumn, the great disappointment. There's nothing like little disappointment, just the disappointment. And we continue. I met with them, and we studied and prayed earnestly. Often we remained together until late at night, and sometimes through the entire night, praying for the light and studying the word. Again and again, these brethren came together to study the Bible in order that they might know its meaning and be prepared to teach it with power. When they came to the point in their study where they said, we can do nothing more, the Spirit of the Lord will come upon me, that the Spirit of the Lord will come upon Ellen G. White. I will be taken off in vision, and a clear explanation of the passages we had been studying will be given, and with instruction as to how we were to labor and teach effectively. Thus, light was given that helped us to understand the scriptures in regard to Christ. Remember, the fundamental study of the fundamental principles. Subject 1. Let me write it like this. Subject 1. We are studying fundamental principles, and we are told that the fundamental principles were laid after the passing of time. The quotation began by saying, many of our people do not realize how firmly the foundation of our faith had been laid. So I want to connect the word foundation of our faith with principles. Okay, it's the foundation and the principle. Let's go to the same page, the same book, flip it on top. We are now beginning just how we began in where we left from the previous Sabbath. We're going to understand what is apostasy and what is transgression. There is transgression. People are killing, murdering, people are stealing. But when now these murderers get into the sanctuary and then they change who they are worshiping, then that's the point where there is no mediator. That is another foundation. Now that foundation must be taken out. It must go to captivity. It must go to exile. It must go for the Sunday law. So if this foundation goes for the Sunday law, it means it was a false foundation. So some of us are just seated in false foundation, thinking that God will cleanse them. That is not cleansing that is coming. Cleansing that is supposed to be taking place is the cleansing that is Ephesians chapter 5 verse 26. So that he may cleanse it. He must cleanse it, sprinkle it, so that he may have no wrinkle or spot in the day when he comes upon the earth. That is Jesus. When Jesus is coming upon the earth, he's not going to destroy a church. Neither is it going to cleanse a church. Jesus is not coming to cleanse the church. Church militant does the cleansing. Church triumphant does the glory. My friend, some of us are just lacking behind into apostasy itself. So let's go to that first 1SM 201.1 1SM 201.1. Now we're the same chapter studying what is the foundation of Seventh-day Adventist, so that we may know we are studying the foundation of the first Seventh-day Adventist. They are called principles. Let's see. Paragraph 1 says, the Lord will put a new vital force into his work as human agencies obey the command to go forth and proclaim the truth. So there is a work of obeying, and not just obeying, having no basis, but you must obey to proclaim, to go forth and proclaim the truth. Obey the truth, obey the command, and obey the truth. In order to obey the command, you must have the truth. So you cannot receive the command without the truth. That's why the counterfeit will come first to hinder the movement that is to arise, the loud cry. So the Lord will put new vital force into his work as human agencies obey the command to go forth and proclaim the truth. He who declared that his truth will shine forever will proclaim this truth through faithful messengers. So we know that this is just a statement that makes a hint that there will be faithful messengers, which means there will be faulty messengers as well. So let's see if we are on the right thoughts, because if a statement comes to us that God will proclaim through faithful messengers, it means there will be messengers who are false. Who will give the trumpet a certain sound? The truth will be criticized, scorned, derided, but the closer it is examined and tasted, the brighter it will shine. Now, how will God do this work? Calling people, commanding those who are faithful messengers to do what? To proclaim these truths and go forth. Let's see. As a people, we are to stand firm on the platform of eternal truth. So, another name for the foundation, this is one. Another name for the foundation, okay? It is platform. It is also called a platform of eternal truth that has withstood test and trial. We are to hold to the sure pillars of our faith. Okay, so this platform is also called pillars. Pillars, platform of eternal truth, pillars of our faith, principles. Let's see the principles. The principles of truth that God has revealed to us are our only true foundation. So the principles are our only the principles that God has established are to be our true foundation. The principles of truth that God has revealed to us are our own truth. So there's a work of revelation here. So when were these principles revealed? In 1844. Brethren, some people are just preaching, but they do not know just where to stand. We should stand at the point of crossroad, where the church has already defined itself, and where the church had defined itself, where God had revealed to the church what it is, and where the church had apostatized, and now it is defining its own creed. It is coming up with a creed. Now, before, in 1844, the church was given eternal truth, to stand upon the eternal platform, to have pillars for the eternal platform, to be the pillars of the faith, and the principles and the principles which God has revealed are the only the principles of truth that God has revealed to us are our only true foundation. So before we realize that, when spirit of prophecy, Sister White, he said that in regards of Christ, regard of Christ. I want us to see something what she's writing for us in these days, to know that's what the messengers should contain. So we are told is, yes, thank you. So we are told is, let me flip back. Let's go to 206.4. 206.4. 1SM page 206.4. Let's go back. Many of our people do not realize how firmly the foundation of our faith has been laid. My husband, Elder Joseph Betts, Father Piers. I'm skipping the bracket. Elder Hiram Elton and others who were keen, noble, and true were among those who, after the passing of the time in 1844, searched for the truth as for hidden treasure. I met with them and we studied and prayed earnestly. Often we remained together until late at night, and sometimes through the entire night, praying for light and studying the word. Again and again, these brethren came together to study the Bible in order that they might know its meaning, and we prepared to teach and be prepared to teach it with power. When they came to the point in their study where they said, we can do nothing more, the Spirit of the Lord will come upon me. I will be taken off in vision, and a clear explanation of the passages we had been studying will be given me with instruction as to how we were to labor and teach effectively. Remember, she said the principles of truth that the Lord has revealed are to be our only true foundation. So it's to be future, because the future, there is something. When you are told you are to be the pilot, you are to be the president, it means you must prepare to be, because that is what should be maintained. It is the course where all the soldiers should arrange themselves to make the true battle, because the true foundation will show you the true battle, or else you'll be fighting the false battle of the of the things that we will see later in our study to be a failure. Thus light was given. Now this is the point. Thus light was given that helped us to understand the scriptures in regard to Christ, his mission, and his priesthood. Now, things that were revealed to them, okay, were in regard to Christ. Okay? Mission. And what? After in regard to Christ's mission and priesthood. So these things that were revealed in after the passing of time, were in regard of Christ, mission, and priest. When somebody tells you all these things are in regard of Christ, what does it mean? Personality of Jesus. Who is he? How did he come? How was he born upon this earth? Now, let's stick to this point. Let's not get out, because this is where the controversy began in heaven. Lucifer was jealous of his creator and maker. Lucifer questioned Christ's personality. Who is he? God declared the personality of his son. He is my son. Worship him. And all the creation worshiped Christ. So we are here of Christ, his priesthood, and his mission, going to bring the lost, all the work that entail, the events, the activities, mission are described in these principles. So these principles shows who Christ is, mission and priesthood. Okay? A line of truth extending from the time to the time. A line of truth extending from that time. Which time? 1844. Now, I beg to wrap this board a little bit and continue with the point that is being investigated. Where should I wrap? Let me wrap it here from this point. Let me just wrap it here. All of it. We have realized that subject 1, principles. The principles of truth that God has revealed unto us is to be the foundation of our faith. Is to be the only true foundation of our faith. So let's continue. Principles. How else is it called? The platform. The platform of eternal truth. The platform of eternal truth. It is saying we are to hold to sure pillars of our faith. Let me go to the platform. As a people, we are to stand firm on the platform of eternal truth. That was (1798), 1843, 1844. So 1843 and 1844 these are years that are to show who we really are. So I wish that we may begin from this point to understand clearly what we should understand. Just a minute. I need to correct my lighting system so that I might come back shortly. Thank you and be welcome.